I'm calling to order the March 17th, 2026 meeting of the Olympia City Council via Zoom. It's 6 p.m. And our roll call has Mayor Dante Payne and Mayor Pro Tem Young Huynh, both away on city business, and Danny Madrone called in earlier. She's unable to join the call this evening, but we do have a quorum, and we'll move forward with our business. So I understand that there are no announcements from staff this evening. Is that correct? Okay. No announcements. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this evening's meeting.
So moved.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Barrett. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Councilmember Vanderpool. Is there any discussion or comments on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving the agenda as published, say aye.
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 It's unanimous. We have an agenda. Terrific. And I don't believe we have any special recognitions on the agenda. I don't see any here tonight. So that brings us to public comment. And I understand there are two people in council chambers waiting to make comment to us this evening. So we'll call first on Christina Janis. Please come on up and give us your 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Christina Janis. I serve as the chair of Thurston County Realtors Government Affairs Committee. Thank you for your continued discussion on the proposed home energy score ordinance. The Thurston County Realtors Association appreciates that the city's commitment to client goals and housing sustainability. As professionals who guide buyers and sellers through thousands of transactions each year, realtors see firsthand how housing policies function in the real world. Our goal is not to stop progress, but to ensure policies are clear, practical, and workable for consumers and the housing market. After reviewing the proposal, we must reiterate that we oppose the ordinance in its current form. However, we do see value in a voluntary home energy score model that supports consumer awareness without creating the unintended consequences. At this point, there are still significant implementation questions that remain unresolved. For that reason, we respectfully request that the city extend the pause and convene a collaborative work session with elected officials, staff, and experienced realtor members. This would allow us to work through those key issues, including how compliance would function within a real estate transaction, ensuring accurate use of industry terminology, avoiding reliance on our Northwest MLS as an enforcement mechanism, and exploring alternative approaches that support both consumer choice and the city's climate goals. Policies that impact housing transactions require careful coordination to avoid unintended consequences. Taking additional time now will help the city adopt a policy that is workable on day one and not one that needs to be fixed later. We are committed to being constructive partners in this process, and we look forward to working with you to get this right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Janis. Next, we have Henry Valls.
Hello, Henry Valls, 1622 Giles Avenue Northwest, Olympia High School swim coach. Since I spoke 2 weeks ago, we have now collected 3,800 signatures with over 2,500 from Olympia and Tumwater to save the Evergreen Pool. And I believe we are starting to make progress with the leadership in the community. This pool was to be used for lessons, the Washington State Senior Games, 6 high school swim teams, local law enforcement, fire departments. It used to be used for water polo, dive clubs, scuba diving, club swimming, and collegiate swimming. I believe this is why so many care. We were still planning on using it for our swim and dive camp to teach over 200 students how to swim. And I want you to recognize that there is not just a value in the pool itself, but the entire facility. The CRC at Evergreen has so many things the community desperately needs. Meeting spaces, gyms, mat rooms, locker rooms, racquetball courts, weight rooms, climbing walls, and the pool. So what I'm asking is to please meet with the aquatics community Tour the Evergreen Pool with us. Compare it to the Briggs YMCA, which has become severely overutilized and damaged because of its overuse. Let's sit down, let's talk, let's plan. This facility is a piece of art, and it is an invaluable resource. You wouldn't throw away a $30,000 or $50,000 car because it needed a brake job. Let's not throw away this Monet because it needs a little restoration. Thank you very much for your time and hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you, Mr. Valls. Right. And Susan, is there anybody else in chambers who wishes to make comment this evening? And do we have anybody online who wishes to make comment? Well, but nobody had signed up to make comment. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay. So that concludes public comment. Responses from council members? Robert, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just be brief. It's quite impressive amount of signatures. I'm very curious to see how the process with the pool goes going forward. Continuing to hearing updates on that. Also, home energy score will be a item next week, I believe. And I look forward to hearing more public comments then. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Vanderpool. And I will just add that I appreciate Ms. Janice raising the concerns tonight and the consistent email traffic we've been receiving and some really thoughtful both reasons to support it and concerns people have that have been coming across our desks. And I've also I appreciate Mr. Valls' comment this evening, and I really appreciate the recent email you sent that summarized the activity around the pool and the hopes for swimming and aquatic activity in the future. So thank you both for coming in to comment this evening. And I'm going to wake my tablet back up and see the agenda again here. The next item for us to consider this evening is the consent calendar. Are there any questions, comments, or polls from the consent calendar this evening? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve this evening's consent calendar.
I move we approve the consent calendar as presented.
Thank you, Councilmember Barrett. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been seconded by Councilmember Vanderpool. Any discussion before we vote? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the consent calendar for March 17th, say aye.
Aye.
Great. We have an approval of the consent calendar. And we have no new business or old business this evening. So this brings us to council, intergovernmental and committee reports and referrals. And I would suggest that since we are a slightly short-handed group this evening, if there's an item that you're hoping that the broader community will hear and that all of our colleagues will hear, you might hold it for the meeting on the 24th. If you have items that you feel like are time sensitive, urgent, you'd be welcome to share them this evening. And let's start with Councilmember Barrett.
I have really kind of minimal reporting to do. I'm a member of the Olympic Clean Air Agency, ORCA, and one of the things that I just report to the community is that the legislature has reduced their funding in this last legislative session because of, funding cuts that were occurring within particularly MOTCA, the Model Toxic Control Act, which funds a lot of environmental activity. And so the Clean Air Agency is considering a series of fee increases to cover those costs so they can continue their activities. These include certain inspection fees of facilities they inspect, as well as construction for asbestos. I think it's just important for the community to know. And in order to keep their work going, these fees will probably have to be increased. But that's the only thing that I would really think that's important, that's timely. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Any questions or comments for Councilmember Barrett? Let's move to Councilmember Green. Any reports this evening?
Thank you, Councilmember Gilman. I have no reports this evening.
Well, no reports is always in order. So next we'll call on Councilmember Vanderpool.
I'm gonna save most of my items, but I'm gonna do, I guess, a point of privilege here. And I just saw on my phone, my mom, after 15 years of trying to be a superintendent in the Ohio school system, is now a superintendent, which is wonderful. I just want to, I know it's a point of privilege, but
That's great.
I'm very prideful of that. She got her doctorate over a decade ago, and it's been a hard time trying to get there. She deserves it. So I'll let her know that it's on record now.
Congratulations to Robert's mother. Are there any other comments or questions for Councilmember Vanderpool? All right. And Acting City Manager Debbie Sullivan, any reports this evening?
Thank you, Councilmember Gilman. I have nothing to report.
Right. Well, that concludes our reports and referrals, and the only other item before us is adjournment. So on this St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, I will adjourn the meeting of the City Council at 6:12 p.m. and we will reconvene at 6 p.m. on March 24th. Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Good night.